When are you guys planning to quit YouTube? How will you react if you wake up one day and you find out that you're not married? What is your most embarrassing moment? Literally, this is our #1 most requested.
I forgot, was I by myself? Wait.
Insert, we listen and we don't judge.
I was going on dates with them too. I just invited everyone I was dating at the time.
You have questions, we have answers. They might not be good answers, but we have answers.
We have the answers. First one, what was the biggest lie Alex has ever told you?
Yeah, what was it?
He literally doesn't lie. To the point where it's annoying. If we were going somewhere and I'm like, just say it's our anniversary, he'd be like, absolutely not.
This is a story for another time, but my biggest lie has been when I proposed to you. And I told you, oh yeah, we just need to go sign the lease at the apartment. And then it was really just a setup where I proposed.
Which we'll share that story another time. How do you guys balance YouTube and a baby at the same time?
I mean, we lose our balance sometimes.
It's actually really hard. We have to film while Aspen is sleeping.
And sometimes she just wakes up in the middle of a video and we just kind of have to rock with it.
When are you guys planning to quit YouTube? We just started.
We just started. I've been doing social media, period, for a total of 1.5 years, so...
Any plans to quit?
Not right now, no.
Oh, this one's a good one.
Spicy.
How will you react if you wake up one day and you find out that you're not married and this was all a dream? Would you like to be in a dream? And what would you do?
Wait, what? That is a very layered question there.
Like, how would you react if you woke up one morning and you found out you were not married?
I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise. Look at this, I got a dream girl here. Like, I have no chance of getting a girl like this in the real world. So, I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised if I woke up and it was just a dream.
I'd be so sad. Like, I'm so happy right now. I feel like I'd be so sad. And the next question was, would you like it to be a dream? Do you want to wake up and be single again?
I don't, no.
Same, honestly.
I'm cool with this not being a dream.
The dating world was so exhausting. And our most asked question is, how did we meet?
That's a deep one.
I think because we literally, this is our #1 most requested question ever. I think we should just like go tell the whole story.
Not very many people know the very beginning.
I didn't even know the very beginning.
As a reminder.
Okay, so a lot of people know that we met on a dating app, but what you don't know is that we met on a dating app before we met on a dating app.
Right, so I knew that I was going to move to Nashville about 2 months before I actually did. And my first thought was, oh, how am I going to like meet people? Like when I go down there, I'm just not going to know anybody because I didn't know anybody in Nashville. And so eventually I was like, oh, I'll just get on a dating app and I'll just set my location in Nashville. And so we actually matched on Hinge.
Which I don't remember this.
Yeah, this was like maybe about 1.5 months before I moved here. And we sent maybe 2 or 3 messages back and forth. But it wasn't until I messaged her and I was like, yeah, I'm moving to Nashville in a month. Like, we should totally connect or something when I get there. And then, poof, ghosted. And then eventually I was like, you know what, this is stupid. And I deleted Hinge.
Okay, but in my defense, like, so many people say that they're moving to Nashville, or say, like, I used to live in Los Angeles, so many people say they're moving to Los Angeles, but then they never do. And so I'm like, no, if you're actually gonna move here, talk to me when you get here.
I just wasn't good enough for her.
Okay, that's not true.
So I moved to Nashville, and about a week later, I downloaded Hinge again because I was like, okay, I need to meet people. Like, I don't know how else to meet somebody. School year didn't start until August, and so I had 1.5 months of no working in Nashville. And it's like, I gotta meet people. So downloaded Hinge.
He was a teacher.
Yes, we matched again on Hinge. I guess I remembered, she didn't. One thing I specifically remembered, well, there's actually 2 things. One was you doing a cartwheel in the middle of the street. And then number 2 was something about her loving High School Musical. And because I remembered, it's like, oh, I wore a Troy Bolton jersey once for, I think it was Halloween.
Yeah.
And we talked for maybe 2 or 3 days.
I honestly, in my brain, what I remember is that we started talking and like we immediately hopped on a phone call. That's what I remember. But we talked on the phone for 3 hours. I'd never met you, but we were like, yeah. And I remember too, it was a Hinge call. Talked for 3 hours. I didn't want to hang up the phone. Like the conversation was going so good. And then the next day we were like, okay, let's go have a picnic. So I pick up all the food, we meet at Centennial Park, and we have a beautiful picnic as friends.
She was about 20 minutes late.
Okay, but I also picked up all the food. And so it was just so fun. Like the conversation never ever ended. Okay, so that's how we met, but we're gonna continue on with our love story because this is a story that needs to be told because
Whoa, what's that?
Because
It needs to be told.
Because he friend zoned me.
Okay, well, first off, on the Hinge profile, I already said I'm just looking for friends.
Yeah, friends. That's what everyone says.
So, like a day or two after our picnic, she invited me to go to church with her, and so I met her at church, met some of her friends. Then she invited me to her 4th of July party at her apartment,
That
which
was so fun.
was 3 days after we met because we met on July 1st.
And then the next day, he helps me pack up my entire apartment, drives a U-Haul. This guy barely knows me. He's known me for maybe, what, 4 or 5 days?
5 or 6 days, I think.
And I just happened to be moving 5 minutes down the road from where he lives.
We lived like 25, 30 minutes away from each other beforehand.
And then I was moving 5 minutes down the road. And he helped me do everything. Like, I remember, like, he took the mattress out. He carried everything. Like, who does that when you barely know someone?
Who else was helping you move again? I forgot. Was I by myself? Wait. Was it just me? No, I think there was somebody else.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
Remember when I knew you for like 4 days and you helped me move my apartment and a couple other guys showed up to help me move too?
Yeah.
I was going on dates with them too. I just invited everyone I was dating at the time to help me move my apartment. There was like 3 dudes that I was all dating. We don't judge.
I was helping you move against my competition?
It was just like casual dates here and there. We don't judge. I've been holding that in for like 2 years. It feels good to get that off my chest.
Okay, yeah, maybe I had some help, okay?
To be fair, we did agree to just be friends.
Yeah, we
before
were
that,
just
and we had
friends.
known each other for 5 days.
Yeah, it was great.
And clearly, I was lifting the heavier stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, he sits me on the couch, he friend zones me, and then he says, here, let's take a selfie, this will be funny.
This was the selfie we took when...
Not
right
cool.
after I friend zoned her.
But then we just start hanging out, we're friends, we weren't friends.
But I'm glad that it happened that way.
Me too.
Because we became friends before we became partners. And I felt like the Lord was telling me that I was just supposed to be friends with people right now. I had just moved to Nashville. This was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I moved. And so I was like, no, like I need to be friends with people before I start dating, all this stuff. And so I basically tried to tell her that I'm like interested, but like I want to be friends at the same time. And so she says, no, I'm an all or nothing.
Well,
we're either opening the door or we're slamming it shut. There's no in between.
I don't leave any cracks open.
And so I asked if we could just crack the door.
And I said no.
She said, no, it is either staying shut forever or we're opening it.
And he said, then it's shut.
No, what I said was, well, like, we'll shut the door, but like, if God wants to open it back up, he'll open it back up. And she's like, no, once it's shut, it's shut.
Because I wasn't going to play around. Like, I'm not letting you play with my heart. So anyway.
Well, I didn't want to play with her heart either. On the inside, I wanted to open the door. I wanted to date you. But again, I wanted to be obedient because I felt like the Lord was telling me, just be friends. Which again, glad that I did because I was able to look at you as another human being and just be friends, build that friendship up, which is really the foundation for, you know, what our marriage grew on.
But then, okay, we were friends for what, 2 months or something like that?
It was about that.
And
right?
on a random day, he goes, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, what just happened? Like, I remember being so confused because I'm like, we didn't even date. Like, we just went straight from friends to will you be my girlfriend?
Okay, we didn't date, but we literally, I would say out of those 45 days when we first met to that asking you the question of like, will you be my girlfriend? We probably saw each other maybe 38 of those 45 days.
Yeah, like almost every single day.
So
But-
like, no, we were not going on dates, but we were going to hang out. I actually loved your answer though when I asked you, because you're like, well, I think I just need to pray about it and then I'll let you know. And I was like, oh, I appreciate that. I would rather have a girlfriend that, you know, wants to honor the Lord. And
yeah, this was like a big red flag to him. I just knew we were such best friends, and once you put that label on, like boyfriend girlfriend label, you're either getting married or you're breaking up and probably never talking again. And so I was so scared to put a label on it, like literally terrified, because I loved him so much that I was like, I don't want to be his girlfriend, and then what if it doesn't work out, and blah blah blah.
I thought that was stupid, but
yeah, because he kept, I was like, you can call me your girlfriend, but I'm not gonna call you
that
my-"
happened like a week or two after we started actually dating though.
So we were what, friends for how long?
About a month and a half.
Then we started dating, and we dated for how long?
We dated for about a month until you didn't feel any peace and we broke up.
I forgot about this.
So you explained to me that like these feelings that you're having, like, oh man, I just like don't feel peace about a relationship. And you kept bringing that up to me for like a week, and eventually I'm just like, okay, that doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
Hearing like, oh, I don't have peace about a relationship, like I feel like the Lord's not giving me peace, I'm praying for it.
Yeah.
And so we had like an hour-long conversation, and it was really hard, but I was actually, so you offered the idea, okay, let's date for this period of time, and if the Lord doesn't give me peace by then we're gonna break up. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and date you with an ultimatum. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, if the Lord wants us to be together, He's gonna find a way to bring us together.
Well, the funniest part too is, so we broke up. It took me 3 days before I realized that I did want to date him, because I remember the Lord showed me that love was a choice. That was like the biggest thing, is I thought finding a soulmate, the Lord was gonna like shine a beam on him, and I heard the Lord say, honey, I wrote you a book. Open it. And so anyway, I opened up the Bible and I was like, okay, God, like what are characteristics of a godly husband? And literally it was like Alex, like everything that God said to look for in a husband was Alex. So then I was like, okay. And then the Lord just revealed to me that love is a choice. And so it was like, out of everyone in the world, like, yeah, I could pass up on Alex and I could marry somebody else, but like it's a choice. And so like, would I choose Alex? And I don't know, I just like lined up everything that God said and that was in a godly husband, and I was like, okay, I'm choosing Alex. Like that was it.
Except she didn't tell me that for at least 3 or 4 more days.
I don't know.
Beating around the bush, text messaging every once in a while. We hung out a couple times while we were broken up.
Well, we have a photo of us with his parents while we were broken up. Insert photo.
My parents literally told me after the fact, they're like, oh, we saw the way that she was looking at you. We knew that you guys weren't going to stay broken up.
So then, now we get back together. We dated for how long?
For about 2 more months after that, and
Then we got engaged!
Pop the question.
Yeah, can I please show everyone my ring? I love my ring. You did a great job.
Thank you. You chose the ring, basically.
I kind of did.
I think the engagement story will be a story for another time.
I think so. But yeah, so we dated for a little, you said like 2 months after that. Then we got engaged, and then we got married like 4 months later. So literally from the moment we met to the time we got married was about 9 months.
It was exactly 9 months. We met on July 1st for our picnic, and we got married on May 1st the following year.
Yay.
So 9 months.
Yeah, so that is the incredibly long story of how we met. What is your most embarrassing moment? So my school didn't have a middle school. It was like elementary, and then you went to high school. And I think I was in 4th grade, and I didn't realize that panty liners, because I hadn't started my period, but my mom was like, hey, it's gonna be coming up soon, so like we're gonna start putting a panty liner in your underwear. I didn't realize that they had a sticker to stick in your underwear. So I'm in gym class, and all of a sudden it slips out of my like everything and lands on the floor, and everyone's like, ew, a pad. And I'm like, ew, a pad.
Wait, how old were you?
I don't know. I didn't get my period until I was like 16, 17. Like, it was a long time. I think I was like in 11th grade by the time I got it. So like, anyway, I just didn't know. And so anyway, but I was like, ew, I'll throw it away. So I apologized because I knew it was mine.
Oh,
I was so embarrassed, and maybe people knew, maybe they weren't, but I was so embarrassed. What's your most embarrassing moment?
I honestly can't even think of one. Nothing comes to my mind.
Okay.
I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like this video is long enough. If you guys have additional questions that you guys want to know, comment that down below. Maybe we will do our proposal story next.
Ooh, that's a good one. You know, do you remember I actually recorded myself a couple times before, like on the day of our proposal.
Yeah.
Unseen footage. I was a little bit nervous,
We
but
might have to break that
we
out.
might have to.
All right, love you guys.
See
Bye.
ya.